my beauties, it is basically my favorite time of the year because not only is it perfect fall weather, it is also when you have mooncake. So this is probably around the time where you see a lot of mooncakes popping up in Asian grocery stores. They're pretty much everywhere. Mid-Autumn Festival, also known as the Mooncake Day, falls on the 15th day of the 8th month in the Chinese lunar year calendar. So for this year, it falls on the 4th of October. And in preparation for that day, I thought I will share with you the reasons why we celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival, but also some of the staple foods that you will find on the dinner table. The Mid-Autumn Festival is one of 3 most important holidays that the Chinese people celebrate, second to the Chinese New Year. This is pretty much the Asian version of Thanksgiving because this is a day where families reunite and they celebrate under the moon. And this is also around the time when the moon is the brightest, the fullest, and the roundest. As early as the Tang Dynasty, people used to worship the moon. They would actually offer seasonal foods as well as burn incense, and they believed that the moon was a symbol of prosperity, happiness, and family reunion. So traditionally, people would make moon-shaped cakes, and then after offering them, they would cut them up and then share it amongst the family. And this is pretty much how it started the mooncake tradition. Mooncakes are basically pastry-filled cakes with various types of fillings. You get the most common ones like lotus seed, you get mung bean paste, red bean paste, and sometimes nuts and fruits and things like that. But even modern ones now, you get green tea or taro flavored ones. I personally love the traditional one with the words printed on top, and I definitely prefer the red bean paste with egg yolk. So besides a mooncake, obviously, there are 6 other staple foods that we eat during this time of the year, and I'm going to tell you what they are and why we eat them. Number 1, hairy crabs. I know it sounds disgusting, but it's actually surprisingly delicious. This is definitely a must eat, and it's super popular around that time of the year because it is actually the season where they come to shore and lay their eggs, and it is also when they're probably the most expensive, but also quite delicious. This is very popular amongst the southern parts of China, especially in Shanghai. Because hairy crabs are considered a cold or a yin type of food, they're usually served with ginger and vinegar, which is also a warm type, which will balance out the dish for you. A very important tip is to avoid eating the heart of the hairy crab. It's basically this grey rubbery flesh that is the size of a SIM card, so make sure you pick it out if you do see it. The reason why to avoid eating that is because hairy crab alone is already cold, but the heart apparently is the coldest, and when you eat or consume too much cold foods, it will result in stomach aches, vomiting, diarrhea and all that stuff. So best to not have that during the Mid-Autumn Festival. So hairy crabs contain a lot of proteins, amino acids, vitamin A, B1, B2, and phosphorus. That helps to enrich the bone marrow, boost blood circulation, and help with muscle growth. It can also cure ulcers, which is normally caused by overheated or trapped heat in the body. Number 2, pumpkin. This is attached to a legend that was told from generations to generations. It's about a girl from a very, very poor family who was so poor that they couldn't afford to feed themselves, and the parents got sick and ill. So what happened is this poor girl found the pumpkin lying on the side of the road, and she decided to take it home and cook it for her dying parents. This humble little pumpkin restored the parents back to life, and then this legend has been passed on from generations to generations to basically tell people the story of family, love, reunion, compassion. So now they make pumpkins in various dishes, from main course, appetizers to desserts. Pumpkins are jam-packed with vitamin A, which is super good for your eyesight. It also has a ton of fiber that will help to detox and clean out the body, antioxidants that will fight off free radicals and keep you youthful, and then also beta-carotene that can even fight off certain cancers. Vitamin C improves your immune system, and potassium hydrates and protects your body from the upcoming cold weather. Number 3, river snails. Another common, yet sounds quite disgusting, but it's very specific to the Asian culture and super common around that time of the year. It is also the season to harvest them, so you'll find them across the dinner tables. It's not the fancy ones you get in Paris. It's actually tinier, and they smell really bad. They're often cooked with wine and medicinal herbs to take out the odor because they do harvest them from the rivers. This is very common in Guangzhou City and places in Hong Kong as well. Not only do snails contain protein and a bunch of vitamins and minerals, it has omega-3 fatty acids that improves brain power, lowers cholesterol levels, prevent heart diseases, and improves eyesight. You may have heard about the recent snail craze skincare line that's popping up all over Korea. So not only is it good for you on the inside, but also on the outside. Number 4 is pears. There's another Chinese saying that to never split a pear with your loved ones, because pear in Chinese, li, is the same sound as the word li, which is to leave someone or to separate. So they say to never split a pear with your family or your friends or your partner or your lover. So therefore, it's actually because of that reason we have pear during Mid-Autumn Festival. It actually implies the desire to reunite with a family for the following year, and it's also the same reason why you often see pear in a lot of Chinese traditional culture offerings, and then we eat them afterwards. It contains a ton of good things like potassium, which will help with the heart and muscle function. It also contains fibers that will help with the digestive system and also helps your body better absorb the vitamins and minerals you eat. Number 5, duck, which is also one of my favorite Chinese dishes, the Peking duck. However, during the Mid-Autumn Festival, you will notice the duck being cooked in various different forms. One of the most popular and the most traditional way is the Osmanthus duck. Duck is known to help expel pathogens from the body. It also helps to create the perfect yin and yang balance. Not only does it have complete proteins and minerals to support your immune system, it prepares your body for the changing weather. It also has vitamin B complex, which will boost your nervous system and prevent stress and depression. Last but not least, number 6, Osmanthus. You pretty much find this in your wine, your tea, your dessert, your cakes, and even in your duck. This is such an iconic and important element especially during the Mid-Autumn Festival. Osmanthus also has a backstory legend. It actually is one of the 3 most famous legends during the Mid-Autumn Festival. So the emperor punishes this guy called Wugang to chop down the Osmanthus tree. So what he would do is chop down the tree, and then he keeps growing back, and then he'll go back and chop it down again, and it grows back, chop, grows back, chop, grows back. So now we use this saying as to describe anything that we do as like an endless task. So during the Mid-Autumn Festival, that's when the Osmanthus flowers is in full bloom, and it has a really sweet fragrance, often described as like apricots or peaches. So this flower has been used in traditional Chinese medicine during the ancient times, as it has a sedative effect to relax and calm the mind. It also has anti-allergic agents that can reduce congested throat and the mucus caused by the inflamed lungs. Osmanthus is also known to help reduce menstrual cycle pain, as well as bloating and gas stomach aches, as well as preventing bad breath. So you can have Osmanthus in your tea, your wine, your desserts, everything. It's super good with oolong tea, and it also is great with some goji berries or longan, as well as Osmanthus jelly or cakes that you can research these recipes online. Super simple and easy to make. My favorite is the Osmanthus glutinous rice balls, often cooked with zhounyang, which is this fermented rice wine. However, it's usually cooked over high heat, so a lot of the alcohol content is evaporated, so even children can have it. It's definitely a best way to end a big feast, and it also helps to keep you warm during the cold winter. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed a little insight into traditional Chinese culture. And speaking of that, I just want to let you guys know one of my favorite shows, Shen, the Symphony Orchestra, is actually touring around the world, and they're stopping by New York on October 14th and 15th at the Carnegie Hall. So if you guys are interested, definitely go check it out. The mission of the Shen Symphony Orchestra is to revive the true traditional Chinese culture from 5,000 years ago. The great thing is that they combine both traditional Chinese instruments with the modern Western ones, so you get pipa, erhu, and all those things along with your violins and your trumpets and whatnot. So I think that's quite interesting and definitely very fascinating, and they try to bring that out through music, which is the universal language, and you don't need to speak anything, you just have to be there to listen with your hearts. And I think definitely worth checking out if you are in New York. They're also tour around the world, so I will link it down below for you to show you where when they're visiting your city. If you guys are going in New York, please let me know down below as well, because maybe I'll see you guys there. So thank you guys for watching, and happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Bye!